If you've ever tried to set a head down on the studs while the engine is still in the engine bay, you know how difficult and awkward it can be to sit there and hold the head, look down the head bolt hole, and try to align that up with the end of the stud. That way, when you come down, you don't accidentally crash the end of the stud into your freshly machined deck surface, which could possibly harm sealing capability. So, to drastically reduce that risk, I've got a quick pro tip to share with you guys to help guide the head on and prevent any damage. This process uses standard thin-walled heat shrink tubing, and for these M12 studs, I'm using 1/2 inch size with a 2-to-1 shrink ratio. Here's the packaging they came in case that's helpful. This is Kable Controls, Kable with a K, Controls with a K as well, and the part number. But I'll leave a link in the video description to Amazon where I got it to. There is one critical detail I want to give you a heads up on. Make sure whatever you get, it is not marine grade. The marine tubing has an adhesive lining inside, and that'll melt and get into your upper stud threads and just create a difficult cleanup situation, which you'd want to avoid. And looking at this one, nothing on the inside. It's the same as the outside, no adhesive. I wanted a high visibility color as opposed to the standard black. They were out of stock on the yellow, so I went with the red. And I do plan on lighting up the deck a little bit so that I can look down the head bolt hole and better align the stud. This polyolefin plastic heat shrink tubing is supposed to be pretty tough and puncture resistant, but we're going to test that. So to try to replicate it, I've got a scrap piece of aluminum taped to a hammer. It's kind of clean looking through there. I don't see any scratches, nothing considerable anyway. And I know this isn't the same type of aluminum that the head is made out of. This is probably even softer, so that's a good thing for testing purposes. So I'm going to smack the hammer head right into that and see what happens. Just a light impact. We're not looking for miracles here. Make sure I hit that square. There's a mark there, but it did not pierce it. And nothing noticeable there either. That's the approximate angle that we'd be hitting the stud. The edge of the stud would have went this direction. Now it's time to start cutting. I just picked some random measurement that looked long enough, and I can repeat the length over and over again just using the edge of this screw hole here. I'd say it's probably about 1 3/4 inch long, and I do only plan on using about the width of my finger there, sliding that over the end of the stud. Now when you make a cut, you don't want a rough cut, so just once you start, just keep going. And before we touch the studs, we need to make sure we wear gloves so we don't get the oils off our hands onto the freshly cleaned studs. Okay, so just for a visual aid to go off of, we're going to open up the heat shrink tubing, and I've been going about, I don't know, about 3/8 of an inch. And that's been plenty. I want to point out why this is important. Let me show you the spot face on a head. The spot face is this machined area at the top of the head bolt hole. And just out of caution, I want to make sure that the heat shrink tubing is above that after we set the head down on top of the head gasket, and it's located and all the way down on the dowels. All right, swapped gloves again after touching that head to show you guys the spot face. Fire up the heat gun. And we're just going to rotate it. Working on the lower portion right now. So we got that step there. You can see that shape right there. I'm gonna go right up the edge there. A little bit, a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna pause for a second. And to make sure that we can get our Allen wrench in there later, I'm gonna finish it up with the Allen wrench in there. You don't need to torch this. It doesn't take much heat. All right, that looks good. Just let it cool off a little bit, and then we'll take the Allen wrench out. There we go. After cleaning the used head bolt holes with acetone, so I don't get my clean studs dirty again, I want to show you the clearance that we still have. And now, just going to bag it right back up. If you found the tip helpful, please give the video a like, share, and subscribe. I am working on a full detailed step-by-step stud and head installation video for this engine, so keep an eye out for that. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.